Welcome back to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Thank you for staying with the broadcast. The Department of Health and Wellness is continuing to make preparation for the smooth transition from the Victoria Hospital to the new Owen King EU Hospital through a series of discussions. More in this report from Fernel Neptune.
A delegation from the University Hospital of Martinique recently paid a visit to the Owen King EU Hospital to provide feedback and technical expertise on the transition to the Millennium Heights Medical Complex. Permanent Secretary in the Department of Health and Wellness, Felix Senthill, says he's very pleased with the collaboration with the team from Martinique, given the experience from a recent transition to a new hospital.
The support is in practically all facets of the transition in medical and clinical, organizational, technological. So the team that just arrived in St. Lucia that have been working with us for the past 2 days, they've been looking at our electrical systems, our water systems, our medical gas systems, our policy with regard to maintenance, even some of our organizational issues. Like I mentioned, we probably share quite similar cultural experiences. So the change management process, they've been advising us, because the important thing is that Martinique itself just went through a transition in themselves to the University Hospital of Martinique, where they had some enlargement, of their own facilities and their own services.
Director of Cooperation at the University Hospital of Martinique, Christian Bourgeois, says it is important that they strengthen their medical cooperation with St. Lucia.
We discovered a wonderful and exciting building. This OK EU is really a very, very interesting building. We discovered also a very engaged team. People ready for the change. This visit was very good point, because we can see that all the comprehensive plan have been prepared, but there are some very specific issues, technical issues to address in order to secure all the plan. So we leave St. Lucia in the hope that they will succeed, and we can help succeed this challenge.
The Department of Health and Wellness wants to assure the general public that transitioning plans for the new hospital are progressing smoothly and that they are committed to providing quality healthcare services. Reporting from the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, I am Fernel Neptune.
Youth Advocacy Through the Arts YATA is an initiative by Infinity Entertainment, supported and funded by the United States Agency for International Development through its Community, Family and Youth Resilience Program. The two young men at the helm of Infinity Entertainment, McLeod Smith and Anxious Herman, say the live YATA showcase will allow youth to show their creativity and talent and stay positively engaged. The young men say they are looking to make a difference in the lives of young people.
You actually want to go out there by foot and actually go to them and tell them, hey, this is what we are doing. We think you can take part. This is good for you. So come out, take part. There are lots of opportunities can come from this, right? Apart from just getting to the finals and winning, right? We'll also be giving them prizes, and from that, from the exposure, because it's sponsored by both USAID and CFYR, right? And USAID is an international organization. You're getting the opportunity to put your face on the international stage, because when the show is recorded, it will be broadcasted everywhere, not only in St. Lucia, but also up in the United States.
There are plans in place to engage youth at all levels.
Before we even get to the live show, which is on the 16th of November, right, we have a series of activities that we have that culminates to, right, the 16th of November. We have auditions from the 14th of September down to the 28th of September, right? It's every week, every Saturday, right? In order to participate, right, we're asking people to register. The registration forms are at the New North and South Constituency Council office, right? Or they can check any member of Infinity Entertainment, or they can visit us on Instagram, and they can DM us, and we'll respond and we'll guide them.
President of Infinity Entertainment, Andrew Zerman, says he has always been passionate about youth development and hopes that this initiative can positively impact the lives of youth.
What I realize is that youth will never just show up on their own. Yeah, the first event we had, I went out, I spoke to them, and I got a lot of people to actually be on board and actually willing to help us and actually take part in the event. So I figure, well, you know, if it's an event like that, it's best we just go on foot, just reach out to them, speak to them, especially the guys on the block. You know, they have nothing doing, they were looking for a way, looking for an opportunity, looking for an area so that they could at least make themselves, you know, make something out of themselves. Yeah, so that's why I decided to go that.
Participants will also receive training in music and performance poetry. Visit the Yata and Infinity Entertainment social media pages for more information. A judge in the U.S. has ruled that drug maker Johnson & Johnson must pay $572 million for its part in fueling Oklahoma's opioid addiction crisis. The case was the first to go to trial out of thousands of lawsuits filed against opioid makers and distributors. Opioids were involved in almost 400,000 overdose deaths in the U.S. from 1999 to 2017. That's according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Since 2000, some 6,000 people in Oklahoma have died from opioid overdoses. During Oklahoma's 7-week non-jury trial, lawyers for the state argued that Johnson & Johnson carried out years-long marketing campaigns that minimized the addictive painkillers' risks and promoted their benefits. The state's lawyers had called Johnson & Johnson an opioid kingpin and argued that its marketing efforts created a public nuisance as doctors overprescribed the drugs, leading to a surge in overdose deaths in Oklahoma. Johnson & Johnson said immediately after the judgment that it would appeal. The company vigorously denied wrongdoing, arguing that its marketing claims had scientific support and that its painkillers made a tiny fraction of opioids prescribed in Oklahoma. The Eastern Caribbean Collective Organization for Music Rights, ECHO, looks to develop the music industry on island. Providing mentors to up-and-coming musicians is one of the initiatives outlined at a recent workshop held for local musicians. Despite being a cruel world, as described by music mentor Claudia Edward, the passion for music creation, she says, should keep motivating musicians to push through.
The Eastern Caribbean Collective Organization for Music Rights, ECHO, serves to protect music rights. Efforts to ensure the future generation of up-and-coming musicians understand the fundamentals of the music industry has propelled ECHO to create a mentorship program. Music mentor Claudia Edward expresses her enthusiasm in being chosen. She outlines the role she will play in the lives of aspiring young musicians in the ECHO program.
Well, I was contacted to be a mentor to speak today at this forum. It's basically to help the youth understand the music industry, the challenges they will face, what they have to do to be successful, and that kind of stuff. So that's quite exciting.
On another note, singer, songwriter, and producer Sherwin Dupes Bryce, who will also be acting as a mentor in the ECHO program, says the aim is to cultivate educated musicians for the future and ensure the continuity of exceptional music coming out of the region.
We're all about music education, empowering the youth through creativity. So being a mentor, it's my opportunity to share a bit of my story and to also look forward into the future and see how we could help those that are becoming part of the new St. Lucian music industry and the music industry of the Caribbean.
What are your thoughts going into and also being called in to play such a role?
It's an honor. It's something that I've been looking forward to. It's always great to share your story because then you could find links. You could see somebody might be going through something that they can't express. So if they can hear part of it through you, then it's even better. You can show them that they can move past that and they can make better things happen for themselves in their career.
Meanwhile, Edward says despite setbacks which oftentimes occur in the music industry, young musicians should learn to push through, stay grounded and passionate to reach success.
It is a cruel world. The music industry is tough. you have to persevere, you have to want it enough to withstand everything that will come your way.
What are some of the challenges? You mentioned a lot of challenges. What are some of those that they may face?
Financial issues in terms of getting the music out there. They will face some of that. They will face criticism, which is like one of the biggest things that will either break or make them. They will have problems getting people who they can trust in terms of who can manage them, who are not there just because there's a financial gain for them, but because they truly want to help the artist. So these are some of the things that they will face in this industry.
She would go on to praise the initiatives by the St. Lucian government in providing local artists with an avenue to showcase their talents, as was the case with the most recent staging of St. Lucia Roots and Soul. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break.